Wait, you guys are having issues with the stream? Let me just check because I believe my internet has been working fine. In fact, I am streaming right now. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so my internet is definitely working. Okay, fair enough. So I'm so sorry. I believe I might have had some connectivity issues. But we are back. So yeah, let's go. And yeah, so Nitro is now basically sending paladins on both sides of the map. And yeah, this is looking pretty dire for Chaman Bahar. The forward castle coming up. I mean, at this point you can drop a castle anywhere you want with the military support that you guys have. Arquebus, I mean. Uh, yeah, this won't be. This game won't go on for much longer, I believe. Because I mean, once these paladins get in, K Trooper will most probably die very soon. You've got these arbalests, fully upgraded arbalests, and except for I don't know if Incas get the final armor upgrade, but apart from that, they've got all the attack upgrades, and the paladins are about to come in inside K Trooper's base. And yeah, so I think in Green Heaven at this point has switched and exclusively to halberdiers. Yeah, so we've got 31 halbs for in Green Heaven. And okay, surprisingly, Mastermind almost lost that castle, although he did manage to bring down the Treb in time. Ah, okay, there is one more Treb here, which I seem to have missed. Well, in that case, I think that the castle will end up going down. So, some nice defense here actually by Green Heaven to kill the castle. Because I did not expect that castle to go down. Okay, so Mastermind is now just repairing that castle, but I mean, as we can see here, K Trooper is going to pretty much die, and yeah, exactly. They just tried to call the GG because I mean, Spanish Cavaliers versus Teuton Paladins. Yeah. I mean, there's no discussion to be had over there. And yeah, so we have Nitro. He's going for the gold. Okay. Uh, he actually had the stone. If he wanted, he could have placed the pretty nice castles forward somewhere. But I mean, yeah, fair enough. GG's, guys. Okay, so Red Mess was going for the Paladin upgrade, as we can see on the overlay as well. But yeah, I mean, against Teuton Paladins, it makes absolutely no sense. So let me just update the score here. And I'll do the same over here. So we've got Team Arquebus going forward, and we've got Chaman Bahar who are now in the loser group. Let me just go through the stats here. So Purple Man with his massive ball of Incan arbalests with a massive military as well. I should add. Man, this guy wrecked completely. The KD is pretty epic for him. And meanwhile, on the other side, for in Green Heaven, K Trooper and oh, sorry, for Red Mess, it was a pretty bad game. I mean, K Trooper's KD is shocking. And yeah, I mean, I do believe it was a Civ win right from the start. Uh, who did nothing the whole game? If you're talking about yourself, possibly, yeah. But I mean, Purple Man did manage to wreck K Trooper quite a lot. Eco-wise, okay, so Nitro seems to have sent some resources to Mastermind, and so has Purple Man, in fact. Yeah, so I am genuinely assuming that you guys have done it in once you guys got to Imperial Age, because if you haven't, and if Chaman Bahar is watching, they can actually check it in the replay and let me know if there has been any tributes being sent in Castle Age. Okay, fair enough. After him. And yeah, so Nitro showing us how it's done. Teutons on Arena. A nice 27.5 minute Imperial Age and just wrecking after that. So GG's, guys. And so Redmas actually got all 5 relics. Did not make much of a difference, I suppose. And yeah, so villager numbers, in fact, pretty similar for both the teams except for Nitro. And yeah, this is the timeline. So Yeah, I mean, fair enough. There's not a lot to be said here. You could have done something with the Sis. I mean, I'm talking about Chaman Bahar, yeah. But overall, I feel like once the Teutons get to the Paladin stage, it's pretty difficult to stop them, especially when you have Incas and Italians as your teammates. So yeah, there is that, and it's actually just 10-10. So if you guys are interested, I can cast one game from the loser bracket. If not, we can resume the casting possibly tomorrow or day after because we have the show match tomorrow as well between Four and Zed. Uh, okay, so that's one person saying go on. Fair enough. Okay, fine. So I guess we can do one more game. Let me just update the overlays here. So we've got the Ninja Squad versus Blue Team. Uh, Give me just a second. What I'll do is I'll update the brackets as well. So we've got man, for some reason challenge is usually extremely slow for me. I have no idea why. I mean the site loads usually fast enough. It's when you're adding the scores, it takes quite a while to actually open up sometimes. We've got Shaman Bahar 1, Team Arquebus 2. And yeah, so this is what the winner brackets look like right now. No man, I use Firefox. I've been a lifelong Firefox user, and I have no plans to switch to anything else. So yeah, we have round four ready. In the winner bracket, we've got Land Clan versus Three Man Saw, and we've got the Sultans versus Team Arquebus. So man, I mean, as the rounds go on and you're getting to the stage where, I mean, in a very short time, you'll have the semi-finals and then the finals in the winner bracket. And for the loser bracket, I mean, they are slightly behind, but I mean, I've given them the timelines or whatever the schedule, so they should be catching up to the winner bracket as well. And yeah, I mean, now these matches can be extremely close going forward. So this should be extremely fun to cast. Yeah, exactly, man. Some extremely close games we had. So finally, let me just load up Ninja Squad versus Blue Team, and let me set up capture age as well. Uh, yeah, I believe I'm ready to go now. So let's just go to the game and we can go live. So right, we have Lakshman who is playing as the Japanese. Usually goes for a trash. Let's see what he decides to do this time. We have Batriku who's playing as the Spanish, and finally we have Lord of Swords who's playing as the Briton. So some pretty nice saves for these guys. On the other side, we've got Neil who's playing as the Mayans. The Pocket is Reminishu who is playing as the Bulgarians, and finally we'll have Barun who's playing as the Huns. So Barun, I believe, is a 1200 something Euro player at this point. Reminishu, unfortunately, I believe is around 900 or so, 900 to 1000, I believe. And Neil is roughly in the same ballpark, I suppose. So I do actually expect this game to be slightly one-sided. But I mean, Barun has been known to play pretty well, so it should be interesting to see. I mean, Barun's opponent is going to be Lord of Swords, who is also around 1100, 1200. And Lord of Swords, as I've said before, has this nice achievement of being the player with the most number of ranked games as an Indian player. So, I mean, he does love his Age of Empires ranked ladder or whatever. But I mean, on paper at least, I do believe that the Ninja Squad have an advantage when it comes to the player skills. And Reminishu is, I mean, he's known for his extremely kick-ass walling. That might be a bit of sarcasm over there. Okay, so Britain's is Lord of Swords, the blue player. And okay, so idle TC time, not a lot surprisingly. Even Reminishu managing to make sure that his TC is constantly pumping in on archers. Sorry, villagers, not archers. Uh, Town centers don't make archers. And but oh, oh man, so Varun is I don't know what he's doing over here. Unless his plan was to name his own villager, because yeah, I think he was trying to make sure that the boar got stuck behind the scout. But yeah, barely. I mean, that villager barely managed to make it to the town center. Yeah, exactly. That guy plays a shitload, man. I actually noticed his profile or the number of 1v1s that he had when I was just sorting through the Indian players list, and like I had this guy at that point. I think it was something like 1,000 or 1,200 or some games, and the next guy was slightly lower. I mean, you have guys like Dragonstar or whatever, right? Who have multiple accounts and I believe they are quite close to his number, but I mean, I think overall, Lord of Swords has a massive advantage when it comes to the number of games being played. And yeah, so Barun usually decides to do this, killing a boar using his DC. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so Lakshman already has a barracks being planted over here. He is how many? Okay, so he's at 16 villagers at this point, and he's already found his opponent, who is Neil. So Neil is about to have a drush coming in. Meanwhile, has Neil scouted his opponent? Let me just check. Okay, so he has not found anybody yet,
Shot it.
and
Tabish.
yeah, so Lakshman will of course lose the scout. Yeah, there we go. But
Ashike.
I mean, at least Lakshman does know where his opponent is. Can't say the same
Tabish.
for Neil at this point. What about Reminishu? So Reminishu does his builds slightly differently. You'll have boars dying next to mills. You'll have multiple sheep being slaughtered. And the TC is usually a building that does not matter for anything except for creating villagers. Like protecting your villagers or whatever is not something that he uses his TC for. So, and for Barun, again, he's sending these villagers behind. He's
Teher.
playing as the hunt, so I assume this is a 20 or a 21 pop scouts build. Okay, so yeah. And yeah, as expected, we have Lakshman going forward with a rush. Neil unfortunately has decided villager on his mill, and he's about to have a lot more idle time here. Because, I mean, fair enough, Lakshman had not scouted the base properly. He lost the scout to TC Fire, but yeah, I mean, overall, now that he has found the mill and he knows where the TC is at least, he can do quite a bit of damage here. And Neil, rightly so, actually, just using his villagers to attack the militia. Unfortunately, these are Japanese militia. So if Lakshman gets to feudal age and converts them to man-at-arms, these guys they can be a handful. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, Lord of Swords is just building up his walls. He has okay, so it's a pretty interesting wall actually. Makes sense, I would say. But the problem here now is that he's got this hill right outside his walls, so which can be a bit of an issue if Barun goes for archers, which I don't believe he is actually. So won't be an issue for him over there. Wait, what is Barun? Okay, so I think Barun has just not scouted his sheep over here, and yeah, that stable. I wish this was forward, man. And Neil using quick walling. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, those quick walls, they never came up. He's making an archery range now, but it's pretty late, man. Meanwhile, what is Lakshman following this up with? So, huh, we have one more militia out. So that's six militia. Okay. Oh man. So we've got five militias. We have a sixth one heading up to Neil's base, and these are about to be man at arms in 30 seconds. So, I mean, I don't know what Neil is doing here. He's dropping these two archery ranges. Fair enough. Mayans, you should do that, but then he should be walling
We'll
these
back.
villagers in because Neil has, I mean, no walls to speak of. Yeah, these man at arms. If he's not careful, Neil can die pretty easily here.
Timo.
Paran has one spear. What else? Where are his scouts? Because he seems to have some scouts. Okay, so these guys, I believe, are heading towards the pocket, I suppose. But what is the scouting like? Man, these guys have some awful scouting being done over here. And wait, what? Don't tell me Lakshman is going for some team wars. Oh, I mean the entire team over there. Yeah, I mean Neil might actually just end up dying here. Unless he actually manages to get a bunch of archers out. I mean, these are Japanese man-at-arms, so they can do a shitload of damage. And
Mandatum.
on the other side, we have Zord of Swords going forward. Barun, I mean, due to the fact that he hasn't walled at all, uh, yeah, this might be a quick game, I suppose. Uh, I mean, Barun does have his scouts, and rightly so just decides to pull them back. He's got an idle scout here, which he does not seem to know about. And oh man, so Neil's mining camp has gone down, and these archers
Shike.
they have no upgrades at this point. Although he does have a blacksmith. Let me just check their resources. So we've got Neil, right? So he does not have the resources required for fletching. He does not have the food at this point. Gold is not going to be an issue after a couple of seconds. But yeah, I mean, on this side, man, if wait, I where were these villagers going, or where are they coming from? Or did he assign a bunch of villagers to gold by mistake or something? Because I don't understand how these villagers are
Tabish.
just chilling here. They were here. I mean, they were coming from here.
Ashike.
So yeah. And meanwhile, we have Lakshman going forward with his archers now. Japanese versus Mayans. Of course, Mayans get cheaper archers. But what Lakshman is doing is he's adding a few skirms as well into the mix, which can make a difference as long as it does not run them into a TC. But I mean, yeah, there you go. So these Mayan
Shot it.
archers without any upgrades will go down to these Japanese uh, archers plus skirms combo that Lakshman is doing here. And I mean, at this point, Neil's pretty much entire eco is being idled. His farms are being idled, his gold is being idled, and yeah, this lumber camp is completely idle as well. And on the other side, so Batriko's scouts, I don't understand why these guys are running away. Oh, okay, fair enough. So Barun has a few spears here. But then Barun does not have walls, and Barun is pretty much dying here. Yeah, these Briton archers. This looks to be a GG at this point because if you look at the villager numbers, you've got the ninja squad pretty much all of them at almost 35 villagers, whereas on the other side you've got Barun at 33 and you've got Neil who is at just 27. But I mean the main difference here is that there's no military effectively for blue team. So you've got some archers and you've got some scouts. Compared to that, you've got on the other side, man, 18 archers for a lot of swords. Britain archers, of course, Britain archery ranges work faster, so uh, you can do that. Yeah, exactly. There seems to be some team walling here. Uh, Please tell me you actually finished the wall. Okay. Wait, what? But Yeah, I mean these. Yeah, Barun. I think not volley was a massive mistake by Barun because yeah, I mean at this point there's no way he can even think of volleying up. And his main gold and his secondary gold are, I mean, both of his secondary goals are extremely exposed. So, man, I mean, if nothing else, at least, just drop a tower. You have some access. If you dropped a tower, possibly here, you could have some access to wood and gold. But meanwhile, everything is being driven away. So, yeah, I mean, even though he has 33 villagers at this point, this is looking pretty much easy. And meanwhile, we have Batrikul who's already clicked up to Castle Age. Reminishu, okay, who has been the pocket, has not received any sort of aggression towards him, is for some reason, let me just check. So he has 1500 gold and 500 food. He does have the buildings, I suppose, if he wants to click up, but yeah, he does not have the food at this point. And at 21 minutes without yeah, Reminishu, not only does he go for stone walls, he goes for some extremely creative stone walls. uh like, if you're looking at this and you are shocked, you haven't seen anything, man. Especially if you're talking about Reminishu, I mean, that guy, I don't know what motivates him to make the walls that he makes, but yeah. But okay, so at this point we've got the ninja squad with 38 military compared to effectively half the military for blue team, and yeah, I mean it's not looking good for blue team over here. Lord of Swords is basically just checking out Barun's base at this point. And man, I don't understand why Bharat is not doing any sort of walling. Because, okay, of course, the Huns don't get houses, so you can't do house walls. But, I mean, if nothing else, man, just make palisades. Because, yeah, I mean, you've got a Britain's player as your opponent. Neil does have quite a lot of military, but then it is going down to these Japanese archers. Okay, so the upgrades are pretty similar for both of them. Villager counts. I mean, you've got a difference of about 10, 11 villagers, but Barun has basically switched to making scones entirely. So, I mean, while it might work right now, uh, these archers are having to sort of just go back to, stay alive. But yeah, long term, I don't know what the plan is. Yes, so we have the trademark walls from Reminishu here. I mean, he's playing as the Bulgarian, so collecting stone is something that is expected from the Bulgarian player anyways. But then he uses them to effectively make art on an AOE2 map. And right, so we have Reminishu getting to Castle Age at, man, 27 minutes. Holy shit. And Neil has clicked up as well. Barun, what is resources? So Barun has 750 gold, which is 400 food. What about his building? So he has the two buildings acquired, but yeah, I mean, I think this is GG at this point. Lord of Swords, meanwhile, uh, wait, what? Yeah, so Lord of Swords is in Castle Age, and he has these Britain crossbows now. So, and he's going for fast ballistics as well. Does he have the resources for that? Not yet, but I suppose he will. But I mean, yeah, at this point, this is looking pretty much GG. If nothing else, I mean, at least for Barun. Barun is completely dead at this point. And right, so we have Lakshman making a tower as well. I mean, I don't know why you would even bother with a tower. Rather than a tower, I think you should just make a siege workshop and just try and finish off the player. Because there is a massive difference any way you look at it. Like if you look at the scores, you've got Lord of Swords is effectively on 3000, Patriku is almost at 3000, and Lakshman is like 26, 2700. And yeah, On the other side, it's looking extremely bad for Barun. So I am curious to know why these guys have not resigned yet, because I mean there's no coming back from this. You've got the Pocket who is at 77 villagers, who is not making military at this point. He's just making light cav. And okay, so we have Reminishu who's dropping a castle. Honestly, I don't know why he's dropping a castle here, because I mean it does not protect anything, it does not give you anything extra, and I think he might be dropping a Krepos or whatever inside Baron's base. Just, possibly to give him some safe access to gold. He has the stone to drop a castle, so I assume he's going to drop. I mean, if he is dropping, if he's in the chat or whatever, man. No, 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 man. You should be dropping this castle here. If you want to save your teammate, that castle needs to be in front of the gold. Or if not in front of the gold, do it between the gold and the archery range, so it protects your breeding as well and any military that is coming out. Wait, what? Uh, why are they going for markets? Or at least Reminishu has made a market here, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, so Neil is just sort of stabilizing after that early push by Lakshman. But I mean, the military numbers are massive. The eco is massive. You have Lakshman who's getting to Castle Age at 31 minutes. I believe that should have been punished at some point, but I mean, it's irrelevant now. These guys are like, way, way far ahead. But then you have Badrikul who's also about to reach Imp. So getting to Castle Age like about a minute or two before your teammate gets to Imp is pretty late. But then overall, yeah, I mean, these guys weren't threatened as such. Uh, Whatever aggression happened on the map was from their side. So yeah, yeah. I mean, hey Lakshman in the chat, please tell me why it took you 30 minutes or so to get to Castle Age. Like you did a lot of aggression, which I personally, I loved it. But yeah, I mean, you should have some sort of a transition plan, man. Okay, so it's man, Lakshman basically has an AI army over here. He's got some man-at-arms, he's got some skirmishers, he's got these crossbows as well. And yeah, so those towers they went down, of course, to the castle, and Neil has some military. So looking at the numbers here, we've got Lakshman who's got 13 crossbows. We've got Neil who's got 13 crossbows. Let me just check the upgrades. So that's FU for the Mayans player. Lakshman is missing the armor upgrade, but I mean, yeah, he's got the skirms, he's got the man-at-arms. As long as they don't run into castle fire, uh, which he is careful enough not to do. Okay. And Reminishu is about to die here.
Ready.
Because you've got 37. Ah, okay, he does not know about the castle, and he's making a siege workshop here. So even though he might be able to, start a push from here, but okay, so he does know there are stone walls and there are some buildings here, but yeah, I mean, there's no way to get in from here. So I mean, he'll have to rethink his approach again. Let's see. Possibly if he gets some scouting done. Okay, guess not. And man, so Reminishu coming to the aid of his teammate has taken out pretty much everything that Lakshman had sent forward. These are some +2 knights, but I mean, to be honest, doing this at 35 minutes, it's extremely late. And
Yay.
yes, so Lord of Swords does realize that there's a castle here. Let me see if he decides to rethink his plans of dropping that siege workshop over there. Wait, what is? Oh, okay, okay. So we missed this. Badrikul dropping a castle. Yeah, I mean it's GG. It has been GG for a while here. And what? What the hell is going?
Presta.
Wait, I seem to have missed this. You have gone for supremacy, Badrikul here, and we are about to see. Yes, yes. So we are about to see a masterpiece from Badrikul over here. And I mean, at this point, if nothing else, man, just call it the GG. I mean, if I was Barun, yeah, exactly, man. Supremacy wills. If I was Barun at this point, yeah, just resign to save yourself the shame of this. Yeah, yeah, those cones, man, they aren't doing anything. Holy shit. Uh, you still seem to have some sort of a functioning economy, which does not make sense. I mean, if you have, let me just check how many TCs you have. Oh, okay. Right, you have 7 TCs. Fair enough. So you need effectively 42 villagers on food. You need some on wood, but why are you garrisoning your villagers inside your TC? And Neil at 39 minutes does not have ballistics yet. But I mean, yeah, this is. I honestly don't know what is going on here. Because even these knights can't do anything.
Mande?
Hmm, yeah. Uh, I would honestly like to know which of the players decided to you know ask the rest of the team to keep the set going. Although we have Reminishu who is an Imperial and he has queued up Cavalier over here. But yeah, okay. And we seem to have had some tributes being sent some way. Which I mean, it makes sense. You guys are an Imperial, so that's fair. And I mean, yeah, honestly, at this point, I think I'm just going to fast forward the game because it makes no sense to keep watching this. How's it looking on Neil's side? Yeah. So Neil is pushing forward actually. Lakshman having to drop. Yes, an extremely close game. And yeah, so Parun just decides to call the GG, saving us the pain of having to fast forward the games. Okay, so Barun has resigned, and Neil and Reminishu seem to want to keep the game going, I suppose. I don't know. Okay, so we at least had a doubt castle here from Lakshman. uh, Supremacy was getting an auto attack feature. Would it make the game too OP, or would it make the tech too OP? By the way, something to think about. Although we are going to have one of the new civs getting this upgrade, right, where the villagers turn into Flemish militia. So it should be interesting to see if those guys get any sort of an attack feature or an auto attack feature. I mean, so let's go to the stats. And we have Lord of Swords with 54 effectively Britain crossbows, and he's got the best KD over here. Surprisingly, Neil and Reminishu got a pretty nice KD. Unfortunately, Barun was pretty much dead right from feudal age because he never walled up. So yeah. And okay, so eco-wise, we had Batrikul sending something to Lakshman. I assume that was food because, yeah. Honestly, I don't find it disrespectful. If you can go for something like that where you have these supremacy villagers coming forward and effectively destroying your town centers or your castles or whatever. Uh, I mean, I don't find it disrespectful. Hilarious is a word that I would personally use. Uh, Fair play to him. He actually managed to pull it off. And yeah, so we have this nice star over here next to the 200 villager count. But yeah, I mean, not resigning. I mean, fair enough. You know, if these guys want to keep the game on, it's their call. As long as people don't do things like sending a villager to some corner of the map and building like 10 layers of stone walls behind that, it's fine if these guys want to keep going, because I believe they were hoping for Amenishu to come and save them. But yeah, I mean, overall, if you can manage to pull off supremacy wills on Arabia, uh, more power to you. And right, so we have game 2, which is on Nomad or Nomad. Let me just update the scoreboard here as well. So we have one for the Ninja squad and not for blue team. And yeah, so I guess you can just go live. Okay, so I guess it's an issue with capture age on Nomad. So what I'll do is I will switch to one of the other scenes. Let me restart the game here without capture age. So yeah, just give me a second. I'll reload the game without capture age. And yeah, so since we are looking at the match from the loser bracket, so we have the Ninja Squad versus Blue Team, and whoever wins that game is going to face Hitter Base. And whoever wins that game goes up against Stackers X. My prediction for round 4. Mm, Clan versus 3-man Saw. I expect Clan to prevail over 3-man Saw over there, because I mean, 4 is an extremely good player, of course, but yeah, I mean, it should be interesting to see, because we have had the same scenario, right? Where you had Stackers X and Stackers Z with extremely strong players and a low ranked player. And while they did sort of, get to round 3, it once you have this opposition where you have 3 players who are 13, 1400 EZO, I do believe they can actually pull ahead. So I expect Clan to go into the semi-finals in front of 3-man Saw. And between the Sultans and Team Archivist, man, I have no idea, because I've seen you guys play. I've seen these guys play for very long. You guys are both, I believe, at equally equal skill levels. So yeah, I mean that should be a pretty interesting game. And I mean, yeah, I personally would not like to call that game for sure. So yeah, we have G2 on Nomad. And yeah, we can go live. Right, so
Impero?
we have Badrikul, who's playing as the Persians. We've got Lakshman, who's playing as the Byzantines, and finally we have Lord of Swords, who's playing as the Italians. And on the other side, we've got Reminishu playing as the Mongols. Barun goes for Lithuanians, and we've got Neil, who's going for Ethiopians. So yeah, I mean, I assume Neil is comfortable with his archer play, so he's going for that. And okay, so Badrikul is building a TC over here. Where are his other villagers? You've got Badrikul's one villager here, the second one is here. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, at this point, there's no way to find all 3 villagers. We've got Barun, who's building TC pretty close to the water actually, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult to find Batrikul's final villager, especially since he's playing as green. So I mean, thanks for that. Okay, anyway, we've got Neil who's setting up shop over here. We've got Lord of Swords building his TC here. This we've just seen already, so Barun is here, man. Where are the... I can't actually find the rest of the players on this mini map. Okay, yeah, so we've got Reminishu. Wait, what? Okay, so we have Reminishu playing as the Mongols, deciding that he needs gold at this point for some reason. Okay, I think he just retasked his villagers to zebras. Yeah, so I mean, fair enough. These villagers might have just built the TC and started collecting the gold. So I won't hold that against him. And wait, I have we found all the players at this point? So we've got a lot of swords over here, right? We've got where is Badrikul? Right. So this is Badrikul, and finally we have Lakshman is here. Okay. And for the other side, yeah, I believe we have. So we've got Reminishu who's here. We've got Neil who is here. And finally Barun. I mean, he's got a pretty scenic location for his town center. But let me just check if any of these guys are building docks. Okay, so Barun does not have a dock. What about Neil? Neil does not have a dock either. And neither does Reminishu. Now, if you're looking at the other side, okay, so we've got Lakshman who's already got a dock up. So this is usually what the right build order is, where you use the goats or sheep for scouting and you get your food from your docks. Later on, of course, you can transition to bows or goats or berries or whatever. But yeah, I mean, initially you need to get the food coming from the fishing ships. And finally, we have a dock from Lord of Swords as well. So I guess we've just pretty much covered it up. Or covered all the players at this point. Yeah, I mean, Lord of Swords, if he's going for the same opening in all of his 2000 games, he should be the best at it, right? In the entire world. If you're going for straight archers, or sorry, if you're going for man-at-arms in every game that you play, and I mean the guy has played a lot, so he should be pretty epic at it. I mean, let's see. We have Batrikul who's queued up low. Wait, yes, he has played a shitload of games. In fact, I would recommend you to go and check the leaderboards on AOE2.net. Search for Lord of Swords and see how many games he has played. You're in for a pretty big shock over there. And yeah, so I think Barun is the first player on his side, I mean, to get the dock up, because I don't believe Neil has a dock up, neither does Reminishu. So yeah. Nobody going for a fast feudal. I mean, Reminishu is playing as the Mongols, so he can technically do that, but where are these guys going? Dude, what? What? He's building a mill here before he's built a dock. And he's housed as well. He does, okay, he does have the wood because he just dropped 2 houses. But, and, okay, so Reminishu is just pointing out that he has found an enemy. Okay, so Reminishu now decides to go for a rhino. Pretty much in the open. Man, uh, his scouting has been, in fact, his scouting has been quite good, I would say. But yeah, I think he does not know that you can build docks because he's relying on animals for his food income over here. Meanwhile, yeah, so we've got. Okay, so Lord of Swords is. I think he's just trying to lame this rhino at this point, or maybe he wants the rhino for himself, but he can't do it with one villager. So this is what he's
Hurry.
resorted to doing, and he's got a goat here which he's not using. Right. Okay, so we have a lot of swords who's almost up to feudal age. We've got Patrikul who's also pretty close to castle age. Finally, on the other side, we've got this Baron who is at about 50%. And I mean, for these guys, especially for guys like Reminishu and Neil, I don't believe they have the right idea for how a nomad build is, which is why they will be thrown off pretty badly. And it was Baron going for a 13-minute rush, and in response, Badrikul having to make a barracks as well. But I mean, yeah, these and okay, so Barun is going for the man at arms upgrade. I mean, it makes sense. You have to get some aggression in if you want to have a chance at this game, because I don't believe Reminishu knows any sort of a build order for Nomad. So if he's not careful, uh, I mean, if he's not aggressive enough, this will be an extremely short game once these guys have some military on their side. Okay, so Neil has a dock now. Reminishu, I think he's pretty content with just using animals. Although he is he is collecting showfish with a villager. And he has a wood. I mean, if he wants, he can make a dock at this point.
Amrmindu. Timo.
And wait, Reminishu. Okay, just manages to save his villager. And Lakshman is building a barracks here. So I think this is one of the first games where we've had somebody beating Lakshman to making militias. Let me just check. Okay, so seems Barun has managed to lose his militia, and nothing else going on any part of the map for that matter. Barun managed to find a goat. But yeah, I mean, I think what I can do at this point is just sort of fast forward a little bit. Because, yeah, I mean, just a bunch of pinging going on, but nothing more. And, okay, so we have Patrikul with scouts out, and we've got at least two rangers here from Neil. So, okay, Patrikul is actually making 4 scouts. Let me see how many he has at this point. Okay, he has 5 scouts right now. Neil will unfortunately lose this villager. And, I mean, yeah, these walls aren't coming up, so... wait, Neil... Okay, he has access to this gold. But, I mean, if he's not careful... because this is extremely exposed at this point, and you've got Lord of Swords just right next door. So if Lord of Swords starts making archers, which he will, I assume, because he's got an archery range up. So yeah, I mean, he needs to try and make sure that he does not lose control of this gold, whether it is dropping a tower or whatever. It has to be done, because his teammate Barun is extremely far away, and so is Reminishu for that matter. So, I mean, unless, of course, Neil can, apply some pressure on Lord of Swords and make sure that, there's no aggression on his side of the map. I mean, that could be one possibility, but yeah. And these docks will be short-lived, unfortunately. And, okay, interesting. So, Lord of Swords just decides to, I suppose, looking for fishing ships at this point, which Neil has smartly just pulled away. And we've got Patrikul over here. Wait, let me just look at the military numbers. So we've got Neil with 11 military. Out of that, it's 7 archers. So the rest of them are spears, I suppose. And yeah. Somehow we've got Badrikul at almost 60 villagers. Wow. I mean, he's playing as the Persians, so the faster working TC and everything, it makes sense. But on the other side, we've got Reminishu at 31, Neil is at 35, and Baron is at 40. And who's clicked up to Castle Age? Okay, so we have Lord of Swords who's almost 82, 83% up. We've got Lakshman who is also getting to Castle Age in some time, and finally Badrikul as well. On the other side, it's just Reminishu. So 22-minute Castle Age or a 24-minute Castle Age or Nomad. I mean, it makes sense if you've indulged in any sort of aggression, but then, yeah, I mean, I don't believe anybody for blue team knew a sort of a proper build order for Nomad, which is showing at this point. Because the other two guys, they are just busy making. So we have Barun who's making skirms. He's made some man-at-arms, or at least one, I suppose. Yeah, he's got one man-at-arms or snow man-at-arms, and the rest of it is basically just skirmishers at this point. And these skirmishers are camping right outside Lakshman's base. Does he know about the tower over here? Okay, so he does not. And Lakshman actually doing a very smart thing here. He's dropped the tower right from the start. And I mean, the fact that these guys are extremely close. You have Badrikul and Lakshman being so close to each other. Neil is effectively between all three players here. So you've got Lakshman here, we've got right next to him Badrikul, and on the other side we've got Lord of Swords. And Lord of Swords, of course, is in Castle Age, so he has his crossbows compared to these Ethiopian archers. What upgrades does he have? So, okay, they are fully upgraded archers. On the other side, Lord of Swords has the Botkin upgrade. And he's already making a siege workshop that I just saw. Does he have the university up? Okay, so Lord of Swords, no university for him yet. I assume it might come in at some point. Scores and overlays are not working because for some reason Capture Age does not work on Nomad starts. Because it seems to tell me that Capture Age won't support a game or a replay with more than 2 teams, which, I mean, it doesn't make sense. The teams have been configured correctly, but yeah, Capture Age does not seem to want to work on Nomad. So yeah, I'm having to make do with this. And I mean, as I was saying here, Neil did not place a tower here initially, and Badrikul managed to do it. So yeah, I mean, Neil is going to be beaten up pretty badly over here, and we have a forward castle from Lakshman as well. Or I mean, it's not a forward; it's sort of a back castle for him. But yeah, I mean, Varun playing as the Lithuanians. Let me just check what he has. Just comms at this point. He's not in Castle Age yet. What? Reminishu's castle is never going up. So yeah, this. I mean, let's see how long they decide to play this because yeah, exactly. So Reminishu just decides to pull back, and Varun will lose his farmers here. He's got some eco at the back, but nothing much, and especially the fact that his gold is forward, and I don't think he has access to any other gold. So yeah. And okay, so he decides to build a castle here, which I believe will go up because his scholars will manage to, you know, just make sure that there are enough villagers to complete the castle. But I mean, yeah, long term, that castle does not do much. And on the other side, Neil has been completely overrun. You've got a battering ram. His CC is completely idle. These are Italian crossbows, fully upgraded at this point. And Neil, man, that tower is extremely late. You're just lucky that I don't think Lord of Swords has spotted this tower coming up. But I mean that tower should have come up way earlier. And now Badriku is dropping a castle as well. So yeah, I think this is looking pretty much close to a GG at this point. We got Barun. Okay, so he manages to get this castle up as expected. But yeah, now we have these knights from Badrikul heading towards the castle. And okay, so we have Barun who's made some knights and some lattice. But yeah, I mean, Reminishu is at just 27 villagers for some reason, so I don't know what he's doing. Meanwhile, Neil is at 29. Neil, of course, has been in a pretty bad location, and yeah, so he just decides to resign because there's nothing left for him to do. And yeah, so GG's, guys. And well played to the Ninja Squad. I mean, overall, yeah, it was a pretty dominant showing from you guys in both the games. It's just bad luck for Neil that he managed to spawn between all three of you guys. So Neil was dead pretty much from the start. And let me just fast forward this. And yeah, I mean, let's just wait, what? So I distinctly remember these guys calling the GG, and yet the game still goes on. Okay. Yeah, but Riku, let me just check how much to. Oh, so he can almost drop another castle if he wants to. And we have a lot of swords who's clicked up to Imperial Age as well. I don't know why he's still on Nail's base. I mean, at this point, he can basically, I mean, apart from just collecting the resources, he should be moving on. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much a GG at this point. Barun with just 8 military, Reminishu with 19, but yeah, what can Reminishu do at this point? So yeah, GG's, guys. And uh, yeah, let's just go through the motions over here. Okay. GG's, guys. Well played to the Ninja Squad. If anybody from the blue team is watching, please learn your Build Orders, man. And Barun, if you had ward in the first game, it could have been pretty interesting. The fact that you were completely open and all your goals were like pretty much exposed, made no sense to not wall up. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you around. And for the rest of you guys, for the Ninja Squad, good luck in your next game. Let me just show you guys the stats. So yeah, a lot of swords, and surprisingly, Badrikul as well getting the same kill number. Badrikul got a better KD, but a lot of swords at a bigger army, and yeah. Barun even went for monks, I suppose, because he's got 8 conversions, which is pretty interesting. But then his KD is pretty shocking. So yeah, equal numbers, yeah, a lot of swords. The only player to get to Imperial Age. And society-wise, yeah, I mean, this makes no sense. 45, 42, and 33 compared to what you have for the other guys. You got Patrikul at pretty much 120 villagers and almost 80 for Lakshman and 86 for Lord of Swords. So yeah, GG's, guys. Let me just update the score here. Let me update the brackets as well. Give me a second. Right, so brackets have been updated. This is what the loser bracket looks like. We've got Hitabase versus the Ninja Squad in losers round 2. Whoever wins that set goes up to face Tackers X. Meanwhile, I do believe we've already got the Logisticas versus Shikari match scheduled at some point. So we, I mean, once we get done with the casting for losers round 1, I think we can start casting some of those future games as well. And this is what the winner bracket looks like, which, I mean, this is a pretty interesting bracket over here. We've got a couple of extremely close sets to look forward to, so it should be interesting. And my best wishes to all the teams who are still in the tournament. We have, I believe, I mean, the blue team is of course out now, and unfortunately, so is Warwolf. So good luck to you guys, and I mean, I hope to see you guys in the future tournaments. But I mean, their journey ends for now. So yeah, GG's guys, and good night from AOE India and me Cyanide, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, I believe, because we have some more games from the loser bracket to be cast. So yeah, see you guys. Good night and GG's.